Hello! So I kind of want to do like a video about like the importance of changing patronage. A lot of people always ask me like which patron is the best for such and such hero, or like why I use certain patrons on my heroes or whatever. Like I said, I probably did a video about this. So I was like, well, why did you have Axel on Lars? Shouldn't you have Mara? I'm like, well, sometimes you should have Mara on Lars. Sometimes you should have different pet on different pet. Sorry, like hit a wrong button there. Sometimes you should have a different pet on Lars. Like right, like I said, sometimes Mara's right, sometimes Axel's right. Right, like I said, the reason I'd put Axel is like if the other team has like a Kark, or maybe a Jew or something that I'm afraid, like, because you don't want Lars to die. Like if Lars dies, the Twins team does really poorly. On the flip side, there might be some teams where I'm not too like Lars is not going to get hit very easily because he's in the very back. Like they don't have any heroes that are going to attack the back line directly, so I might be more concerned. Celeste, maybe I'll have Celeste with Axel. Sometimes they might have like a play like a hero I need to do like extra magic damage to. I'm not like there's nothing that's gonna be a downside, like, and especially if you're playing with manual, you don't necessarily need Merlin on Krista. Merlin could be good on Krista because it lets her use her ice shards more often, but sometimes having Merlin on Celeste is the right option because this gives her more magic attack, more magic penetration. That extra magic penetration can make a difference versus certain heroes, such as Astaroth. So it'll allow her to do full damage to them. Like I said, sometimes having Biscuit is right on any of these heroes. Or Mara, like we said, Mara is pretty good, adds magic defense to Lars. Sometimes, like say with Aurora, sometimes it's right to put a Biscuit or Merlin on Aurora. Alright, and it just kind of depends on matchups. You have to know like which pet's right for the right job. Like Aurora, like a lot of times Kane's good, a lot of times Oliver's good. Those are most two used patrons, but Aurora has a lot of AE attacks. Biscuit can be good on her. Let's try to strip Ode Serenity buff off of Sebastian's team. Like I said, and sometimes Merlin's good because this gives her more magic penetration. Aurora has kind of low magic penetration, but against certain heroes, the extra magic penetration could be really relevant because her Rainbow Halo will do a lot more damage. Like I said, it can be really good against teams that are using, say, Orion, maybe Peppy. Right, so don't underestimate the power of a Merlin patron on Aurora. Sebastian, same thing. Like, Albus is usually the go-to for a lot of people, but in a Magic team like this, I actually usually run Oliver, unless I'm using Oliver on Aurora. Right now, if you're using a physical attacking team, though, Albus is probably going to be your best bet. Like, kind of like what we talk about, like the boss or whatever. You want Albus on Sebastian. Like, if you're doing Osh, because you'll have Fenris on Jew. And you'll have Oliver on whoever's like up front, which is usually Isaac. You would put Oliver here. So rather than that, right? Like, so that's what you would patron on Sebastian in those situations. It just really depends. The situation depends on like what you're going up against, like what other heroes you're using in that particular line, like what other patrons you need for your heroes on that line. And like I said, that's really what it's about. It's not really like, oh, this patch for this hero. Like, no, you have to change them. Like if you want to get wins, like if you want to be competitive, it's super important to change your patrons. Right, like I said, this is another line I use. Like a lot of times you want Albus on Maya, but Maya could be really good at stripping Ode with Biscuit because she has lots of AE damage. Like, so sometimes that's the right the move. And again, with Celeste, sometimes Merlin's right, sometimes Axel's right. With Rachni, a lot of times you want Mara on her because because it extends her stuns a lot. But Axel can be good. Albus, like I said, she doesn't do that much spear damage, but she does do some. Axel can be good if you don't want her to die one hit, because sometimes that can matter. Sometimes you try to use a different hero. Maybe you're using Isaac, or maybe you're using Thea, or whatever. Right? And you need a Mara on her, or Isaac, or whatever, to max out the silence effect or something. That could, would leave Arachne using a different pet, such as Albus or Axel. Right, so you have to keep this in mind. There's lots of variables. Like a lot of times what pets are right for your team depends on which team you're going against in that moment. So don't be so locked into like this pet is for this hero. Like be flexible. Being flexible is super important part of being competitive. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video fun and informative. Thank you for watching.